Hey guys, I'm back now with another game between Terran versus Protoss. Some of my own game experiences here. I'm here to shed light and hopefully help you guys maybe get your mind around the game a little bit better, help overall boost community feedback and builds and things like that. I don't know, I just want to give back to the community. I also want to help out other people. Coaching just doesn't seem to be enough. Obviously there's a wider audience of people that always come to me with questions and things like that. Spent a little bit of time in the channel Adopt a Noob on NA, and yeah, I get a lot of frequently asked questions on how do I do this, how do I do that. So these videos are kind of a link back to all of that, saying, you know, here are my experiences. Hopefully my mindset might help you. Try and cover things like, if they're doing this to me, then they must be on this. I might be right, I might be wrong. But, yeah, hopefully I'm going to show off a lot of games where I win, a lot of games where I might lose, and I might be able to explain why I lost. But, yeah, I want to help people overcome obstacles. But, alright, let's kick into this. Alright, in this game, I did another one of these 15 racks builds, so I'm going to actually create this series more around doing the same builds and then showing you different variations of them and different ways that they branch off and different ways I react to certain styles I see from my opponent using these builds, and hopefully that will also in itself help. But yeah, we'll just kick into this replay. Obviously auto mine things would be like that are pretty beautiful. Probably should explain these things during downtime, you know, while everyone's mining and stuff, so I might actually speed this one up just up a little bit. Basically, the build order is on the 9th SCV and your 10th one's building, supply depot, 12 racks, 15 gas, and in the meantime you build marines. Just get rid of this music. Beautiful. Alright, so yeah, here we are, racks is up. I see he's going for a very early scout. This early scout usually tells me that he wants to really identify what I'm doing at the beginning of the game, which is fine. Oh, I actually go for a 13 gas in this game, so this is fine. There's a small deviation, but nothing too stressful. I do end up going for the reacted racks, that's fine. At the moment I'm just trying to kill his probe. It's being really annoying. You don't need to overcommit to doing this, but my initial game mindset in going into this game was I wanted to all-in him. So I wanted to reduce as much information coming out of me as possible to give him the least amount of opportunity to react. So my barracks now is going to finish up. I'm just going to chase this probe out and send him straight to his base to scout out what he's doing. Should probably drop that, yeah. Alright. So let's have a look. Probe's coming back, double checking, trying to see gas. I actually put my gas geyser on the north side of my base, like above my CC, as you can see. And this is basically just there because if he comes up the ramp and I have a wharf like this, he can actually see my gas and get a good read on how much gas I've mined from there. If I've left my gas geyser on the north side, it's a lot harder for him. Obviously I've screwed up and there's only 2 on gas, but at the end of the day, it's just going to slow down what I'm doing. So these aren't anywhere near as 100% refined, so I think these allow people to kind of relate to these kind of builds and how you might be screwing up. Yeah. Can't believe I haven't actually picked that up yet, but we won't worry about that. Factory coming down. So I'm doing this a faster factory before I'm going for my reactor. I'm obviously getting a high marine count out in case there's any kind of pressure coming from him. Often or not, you'll find yourself in a position where Protoss will be hitting you with some stalkers and a mothership core, and you'll be like in the middle of building your reactor, and it's just really annoying to deal with. So this time I opted to get a little bit more marines, starting to get my reactor down. I obviously wanted the faster factory, and now I'm going into a tech lab. Going into my starport now. Actually no, that's the second barracks. So yeah, I was kind of like doing a bit of a coin flip with this. I don't know why 2 probes come up, but I'm going to kill them anyway because 3 probes are awesome. But I changed my mind from just going from a massive amount of marines and not having stim to okay, I think I can fit stim into a timing before 10 minutes, and I was right. So I'm going to get one siege tank out here. This is going to help deflect any kind of stalker pressure. It's not a total giveaway of what you're doing either, but it just helps maintain anything. Optionally, I wouldn't reveal the tank, because some Protoss might read too far into it, and then you get blind counted anyway without proper scouting. But, you know, each to their own. So I do tuck the tank away. I'm going to lift, transfer that. I realise I want stim. I realise I don't need a high amount of tanks yet because I can pump more out. So stim goes down. I want more marines. I start getting my starport. That in itself is also a little bit too early. I could have obviously flipped things around a little bit better. But the general idea of this build is I want to hit him in around 10 to 11 minutes with a marine tank, SCV with stim, and maybe a medivac or two, and I'm going to all in him. I just want to outright kill him. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to do any of that nonsense. So obviously things like getting supply blocked and all that kind of stuff is a big issue because, well, tanks are 3 supply. I'm building 3 supply worth of marines at a time every 25 seconds or so, and I'm also building SCVs. So that's like 7 supply. So I'm going to try and keep a little bit ahead of this. So I'm preemptively building depots at this point. I'm not sure whether or not he's seen that tank. I did try to pull it back, but still going in. I've also tucked my starport away over here on the far right. Stim is on the way. I don't look to go into combat shields as I just don't have enough gas to meet the requirements at the time I'm doing, so this build isn't refined. These marines are purely out here to kind of fend off anything that's being annoying and kind of hiding there. Sometimes pro players might sneak a pylon in there, and if you're doing a huge attack to them, they might do a counter warp into you. So yeah, I'm going to push out roughly around my 3rd tank, and just a little bit before stim finishes. So I want stim to finish as I'm getting to him. That's how I'm kind of looking at this. So at some point here, I'm going to click on my tech lab and go, okay, I've got 35 seconds left. I got a tank, it's finishing up. I got a random marines that will finish up before stim, and I might just start setting my rallies, pooling my units, and getting ready to go. Yeah, at this point, my thought process with this was, okay, if he's got outlying units on either the north or south side of the map, I want to intercept them and I want to push them back so he doesn't see all of my tanks. Obviously this Phoenix Scout, crucial, absolutely blew everything I was doing. So I figured, okay, it's time to go now, stim's finished, 4th tank is underway, let's do this, let's go for it right now. I've obviously got units over here in the mini-map. I don't click on them, I'm just kind of visually watching them as I'm sending them out. They're in 2 hotkeys at the moment, just going around either side of the map, cleaning out any potential vision. Obviously I can't deal with things like observers. He pushes back one side, I stim over my, boost over my medivac, pick them up, try and make them regroup to one army. So the unit pathing of me right now is, well, the vision for him, he probably wouldn't have seen this coming. He obviously sees I have all these tanks. He didn't see the SCV pool or anything like that. So this just allows my build to be even more effective. Do my nice little drop. Obviously SCV's in front. They're your buffering units. He sends out a zealot. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just kill this. Doesn't really stop anything. And even currently right now, I'm ahead in supply. I don't know that, obviously, but I get here. Photon overcharge is called. Siege up my tanks under the ramp here. I want perfect ramp coverage. I don't want to lose those SCVs, so I go over there. I picked up what I can. It screwed up a little bit. Outright kill this expansion. The beautiful thing about Neoplanet S is where you can tuck tanks in to do damage to expansions, and where photon overcharge actually overlaps the surrounding area around the Nexus, which you'll see here in a minute. So optionally, I don't need to do that. I could just run past it and outright kill his army, which should be the main focus when doing attacks like this. But because he had no AoE, he had nothing like Colossus or Archons, my focus then was, okay, I'm going to take it a little bit slower. I've got SCVs, I have the option to do bunkers. I'm pretty committed on his side of the map right now. And look where my tanks are sitting, like just outside of his photon overcharge range, and I'm shelling his stuff. If I'm killing his production facilities, I'm in a nice position. He now decides to pull as many of his probes as possible. This is where you need to focus fire tanks on things other than immortals. Like, I focus fire his stalkers, I focus fire zealots, sentries, anything. Primarily stalkers first. Zealots are going to get on top of your bio army, and your tanks are going to shell themselves, and if tanks are shooting immortals, then they lose the capitalization of their splash damage and their actual damage output. So, two things to keep in mind. Try and keep your tanks on hotkey, on another hotkey, obviously Marines on another hotkey. If you can, obviously have your big battle, but once the units start to thin out, target fire other critical units and use Marines to focus fire down immortals. Obviously the immortal doesn't get the bonus from the Marine shots and things like that, so it actually helps quickly just cut them down. Now it's 44 supply to 8. Like, he hit me with everything. He calls GGOP race. A little bit mad at this point, but yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the build. Like, there's several variations of doing a 1-1-1 type build in TVP at the moment, which I really like. You can add in things like Ravens to deal with the photon overcharge and things like that. And hopefully I can find some games where I do those kind of all-ins for you guys, and I'll present them on my channel and name them appropriately. But yeah. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever. I do have an email, and people can email me whenever they want about games, potential questions. Yeah, I'm happy to listen and try and give them as much feedback as possible. Even hit me up on Twitter. Starting to really kind of get in the feel for Twitter and use that a lot more. But yeah,